Welcome to City Trends. I'm your host, George Miller. We have a really exciting lineup today. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Our first guest is in high demand because solar is in high demand, especially throughout the Central Valley. But some of the people that are purchasing solar or want to purchase solar still have questions about, is it better to lease? Is it better to buy? What's the best way to go? When is it more feasible to use solar? When is it not more feasible to use solar? So we have a guest on today, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. And it's Leo Arntz, and he's going to share with you solar and why solar is so important right now and what his company offers. Thanks for coming on, Leo.
Thanks, George.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And can you share with our audience a little bit about what your company does?
Definitely. So I'm actually with a SunPower dealer here in Fresno, and I'm just here to educate homeowners basically the different options they have to go solar. There's a lot of different factors out there, going into panels and companies and warranties and all good things like that. But I just want to be able to educate people, especially even the real estate industry. I'm seeing a huge disconnect in real estate, and for the most part, when you're selling a house, people are buying houses with solar panels. They're not really understanding what that system's putting out. So I want to be able to, even if there's any real estate agents out there in the Central Valley, please give me a call. I'd love to sit down with you, maybe to pick your brain, pick my brain, and we can see if we can answer any questions about solar energy.
Now, when you're buying a house, is it important to know how long ago that solar was put up, as far as how much service it's going to offer you?
Absolutely, George. Really, at the end of the day, your system puts out a certain amount of kilowatt hours is how it's measured. And as the system gets older, just like anything, it degrades. And sometimes people have a set amount in the beginning when they first get their system, but then all of a sudden 5 to 10 years later, they're left with a lump sum payment to the utility company at the end of the year. And that's where the horror stories come into solar, and that's where I want to kind of help educate people about, if you know how many panels you have out there and what it's putting out, then you can measure your living habits around that system.
Yeah, because that could be really depressing to be paying for solar and then still paying the same electric bill you were prior to owning it. So tell me, what's the benefit of leasing versus buying solar?
It's a great question. They're great options. A lot of times you hear on the radio, don't lease the system, it's crazy. But I do both. There's all kinds of options out there as far as financing and government tax incentives and things like that. But leasing the system is great for homeowners that don't plan on staying in their house for a long period of time. Also, the tax credit. Everyone hears about that 30% tax credit, right? Well, it's just a credit. It's not a rebate. It's not an incentive. It's only meant for people that actually qualify for it. And if you're not used to paying in the federal taxes the amount that you need to, then you may not get that 30% back. So, So what happens is we usually lease the system to people that can't get that 30% credit because you're already leasing power from PG&E as it is.
Yes.
You don't own the utility company, so by going solar, you're just transferring to a less expensive utility provider. Usually it's fixed, so you don't have to worry about your rates going up every year, and it gives you peace of mind. You can budget your electricity now instead of coming into the summertime with running the AC and all that good stuff, not knowing what your bill's going to be.
So what percentage-wise, what's the difference? Let's say I put solar up and I lease solar. How much money would I look at saving a month? Hypothetically, my bill's $400 a month. What would it run if I went with you guys and leased solar panels?
It's a great question. It's really speculation. I can't give you an exact number, George, but say your average electricity bill was about $400 a month. I could comfortably say we could probably save you about $100 at least a month. But you have to realize too, that's just this year. As electricity costs keep going up, you just locked yourself in at one fixed rate with solar. So yeah, you might save $100 a month now, but it's going to end up being $500 a month 10 years down the road.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And how long are the leases?
They're 20 years. So 20 there's no company out there that offers anything less or more than a 20-year lease right now. And it's a great thing. A lot of people are scared about getting into that type of commitment. But at the end of the day, you're already paying for utility anyway. You're always going to be paying for electricity. So now you're locked in for at least 20 years. We wish it could be at 40, 50 years. But again, yes, we only have 20-year lease options.
Okay. And I sold real estate part-time for years. And the average homeowner stays in their home about 7 years.
Correct.
So what does that mean to me if I'm in a 20-year lease with you and then 7, 8 years from now we want to sell our house? do we sell the lease to the new owner as well?
So you actually have two options, especially with our company. The best option would be transferring that lease to a new homeowner.
Okay.
As long as they qualify for a home, they should be able to qualify for the system. And then at the end of the day, we can see how much their payments are going to be. And also you can buy the system outright. Now, we don't recommend always doing that because, again, like you said, if you just bought your solar system, you have a loan for, say, $30,000 on a solar system, and you want to sell your house in 5 years, we got to hope that you can sell your house and get that money back from your system. That usually doesn't always happen. So what we like to do is just say, hey, just lease the system. You know you're not going to be here for 10 years. You at least transfer that benefit to a new homeowner.
Okay, and I got another question on leasing too, because this came up a lot. I have a lot of friends that purchase homes, but they would wait on the solar, and the reason why is initially, and you know this, when solar first came out, every 18 months it was doubling in productivity on how much it could output. And so people were like, well, if I wait 18 months, the solar panels I'm going to order are going to be twice as good as the ones I would order today. So if you're in a lease and 2 years from now you're producing a better product, do you change those panels out, or do they have the same panels for 20 years?
So yeah, again, we wouldn't recommend doing that because again, what happens is technology is getting better and better every day, but it's also costing more money to the consumer.
Okay.
So it's just like anything, right? You have a car that's burning up a bunch of gas, but you could actually get a more gas efficient car with the low payment every month.
Yeah.
Same idea. You go solar as soon as you can, regardless of the technology, because you're locking your rate in now.
Okay, that makes sense.
You could always buy more panels later on if you need to, but again, going solar as soon as possible is the most efficient way to go.
Okay, outstanding. If people in our audience want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Please give me a call. Send me a text message, phone call. You can even email me at my first and last name at gmail.com. I have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/SolarHero. And you can find me on LinkedIn as well. There's a lot of good information on there that I post, and just try to keep up with the community and educate you guys as well as you should be. Solar energy is changing. There's a lot of different things going on with the utility company. So again, I just want to be here to help you guys and answer any questions that are out there.
Hey, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And he answered a lot of tough questions for us, and I'm sure he enlightened you as much as he did me. We're going to cut to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.